take. Oh God, help me, please. Hey guys, thank you so much for being here and welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Karen, and if you're not, welcome back. You're seeing this face again for another time. So I'm so glad that you came. I'm so glad that you clicked, and thank you so much for doing that. And if you're gonna watch this video up until the end, let me just skip that. So today we are talking about disability and mental wellness. Okay, disability is a physical or mental condition that limits a person's movement, senses, or activities. So, as it is with any significant loss, entering into the world of disability actually requires a lot of mental adjustment. Now, when this adjustment surpasses a person's emotional, social, or cognitive resources, then depression can easily kick in and thereby complicating their disability, just further complicating their disabilities. Now, there are these two types of people that are disabled. There are those who are disabled at birth, either for any medical reasons, and there are those who are recently disabled due to an accident or just something happens that rendered them, disabled. Now, for the recently disabled, they're very common to land into depression because these people used to live their lives. Someone has moved from being able-bodied to now they probably have to depend on other people. They are reliving the days and times they used to do things by themselves. As much as we say that the earlier you accept the disability, it is not easy because you have memories with you, and the fact that you're adjusting, you're also learning something new. You're also learning how to cope. It's not easy. So most times they are angry, they are sad as they try to navigate now how they are going to move forward with these adjustments that they have to make. Now, a very good social support system would help. Now, that these are a lot of people who are disabled at birth. I consider myself that, even though I'm not, but the reason is I grew up, when I knew myself, I was disabled. I was in and out of hospital because of a bone issue on my right leg. Now, they usually say that people who are born disabled accept their situation much easier because growing up they are learning coping mechanisms that are helping them navigate life. But this is not always the case because those who've grown up as disabled, some of us struggle to find acceptance with friends, acceptance with teachers at school. Some of us, I'm not speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for the larger us, some of us find it difficult to transition even from childhood to adulthood. Some of us find it difficult even to form relationships, landing jobs, and so much more. So as much as I agree that there are coping mechanisms as a child, which for my case, let me just digress a bit. Growing up, I really did not think of myself as disabled because I grew up with my siblings. It was just normal. I went to a normal school, though it was in a boarding, but my parents took me to a school that was mixed and I got to do things with the others. And I guess that is where I learned coping mechanisms. For others, it might not be the same and they might struggle with some of the things that I have mentioned earlier. Now, with all types of disabilities, whether you are born disabled or you are learning to adjust in the world of being disabled, there are some signs of depression that might kick in. Feelings of guilt, hopelessness, and worthlessness. Because this is someone who is moving from a condition where they were able to do most of the things for themselves, and then they are moving to depending on others. worthlessness would creep in. It's very possible to feel hopeless and even a sense of guilt for probably some who've been involved in an accident. They were driving and they were thinking, if I hadn't done this, then it wouldn't have ended in this way. So another sign of depression in people with disability is being pessimistic, because there's nothing that would seem to work, and they would give reasons like, why bother when I cannot even be able to enjoy that? Why do this when I would not see the end of it? So those are some of that's one of the signs. Another, losing interest or pleasure in hobbies or things that they used to enjoy to do, even when they can still be able to do. Like they see no meaning in having pleasure. A sign of depression, which is very bad, is attempted suicide or suicide thoughts or threats, because they see no meaning in life. Some have gotten to a point where it's worthless to live, as they sow or even as they think, So how can we be able to help people who are recently disabled, trying to navigate this new journey, and those who've been in it but still struggling to find their way in it? Is love and acceptance. I would just say, even as a person with disability, that love works magic. When you accept these people and just treat them, first of all, as human, and not doing this to them as a favor or a privilege, just treating them as humans because they're humans. And also realizing that these are people who have hobbies, who have likes and dislikes. Just because someone is disabled doesn't mean that anything is a pass, or anything is a no-no for them. I mean, just give people opportunity to express themselves, what they like and also what they don't like. Be that social support, provide that emotional support, be a buffer when things are difficult for them on the outside. They can find support in you. And I'm very privileged to have friends that love me and just cheer me on the way I am. Like, at times I feel like I have to pinch myself and remind myself that I have a limitation physically. With friends who make me feel like home, I can be able to do anything. I can be myself. And that is what I'm challenging you to provide, to be a safe haven to someone who is having a mental disability, to know that they can have a home in you. To someone who is depressed, to know that they can be able to come to you and know that they are safe when they come to you. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have someone around you who is disabled, please, just make them feel like humans. And if you are disabled and you're out there and you're fighting these feelings, you're not alone. At times you feel sad, you feel angry. That's common, but don't let it make you sit down to a point where you forget that you're a human being and you're worthy just because you're a human being. Thank you so much for watching, and see you